Strange things begin to happen on the night of a comet passing to a group of 8 friends who discover that everything is not as it seems. The movie begins with a woman named M on the phone with her boyfriend Kevin. The two of them are trying to talk about Kevin's move to Vietnam and the possibility of M following him when their call gets cut off. To make things worse, her cell phone screen also cracks, ensuring that Kevin can't call her back. Soon, M pulls into her friends Beth and Hugh's house before joining her friends inside. Beth, who was talking about taking ketamine to help improve her health, reveals that their friend Amir is bringing his girlfriend Lori, who also happens to be Kevin's ex-girlfriend. Although M does not want Lori at the dinner, she does not have much of a choice since they are already on their way to Beth's house. Sometime later, once everyone has arrived, Hugh mentions seeing several news articles about an upcoming comet that will be passing right over Earth's surface. Hearing this, M chimes into the conversation and begins to tell her friends about a comet in 1923 that passed over Finland and caused people to act strangely. People would forget important details of their lives. A woman had contacted the police claiming that the man in her house was not her husband. When the police got to the scene, they were surprised to find that the man was in fact her husband, despite her insistence that she had killed him. Spooked, their friend Mike shifts the conversation towards Lori and asks her what she's doing now. She reveals that she is working with youth who have had traumatic childhoods. Then she asks M what she has been doing, to which she responds that her dance show was cancelled because her sponsors had decided to go with another dancer. Soon, conversations begin to flow and everyone is having a good time when all of a sudden the lights go out. The group blames it on the comet and decides to go out of the house to check what's going on. When they go outside, they're surprised to find that one house on their block has electricity. Not thinking much of it and brushing it off as them having backup generators, they decide to go back inside. However, Hugh tells his friends that he's going to go out and check on his brother, and although Beth does not want her husband to go, she relents when Amir offers to go along with him. Meanwhile, the group sits around the dinner table again holding blue glow sticks to light up the room. Lori asks M if she knows anything else about the comet. M tells the group that she had read about the comet that had passed over the surface of the Earth near Siberia and flattened trees for miles, resulting in 2 deaths. All of a sudden, there's a loud knocking on the door that scares everyone. A woman named Lee grabs a bat in case there is an intruder outside. No one wants to go outside, and while they are deciding if going outside is a smart idea or not, the lights come back on. Beth begins to worry since Hugh and Amir are still not back and wants to go and check on them. Just then, the doorbell rings, and Amir walks into the house carrying a strange white box. Behind him, an injured Hugh enters the house and asks Amir why he had picked the box. Confused, Amir reminds him that he had seen something strange and that the box was in Hugh's hands. He had only picked it up after Hugh left it on the floor. Hugh denies ever picking up the box and refuses to elaborate on what he had seen inside the house. As they go back and forth about what they should do with the box, Mike decides to open it up and check its contents. He cautiously opens the box and pulls out several photographs from inside. M takes the pictures from him and finds that they are pictures of them that have been cut in half. To make matters worse, the pictures have numbers behind them. Seeing this, the group once again starts insisting that Hugh tell them what he saw, hoping that it would give them some answers. Eventually, he relents and tells his friends that he had seen a dinner table just like the one his wife had set up for their friends, with 8 chairs. He then reveals that not only had he seen their clones, but had also knocked on the back door of the other house at the same time as when his friends had heard the knocking in their house. Since the door knocking earlier came from Beth's back door as well, everyone thinks that Amir and Hugh are pranking them. By the time they calm down again, Hugh claims that he wants to check on his brother again to make sure that he's okay. However, his friends are against the idea and refuse to let him leave again. He then decides to write a note so that he can tape it to the door asking the people inside if they have a landline. At that moment, Kevin notices movement outside and opens the front door, only to find the same note has been taped to their door. At this point, everyone starts to freak out since Hugh hasn't even left the house yet. M tries to make sense of the situation and goes through the photographs again. She finds that they have been grouped and each friend has been given a number, except the number 3 is missing. Then, Amir discovers that his picture is new since the sweater he was wearing in the picture was one that he had bought just before coming for dinner. This makes things even more confusing because no one had taken Amir's picture before or after the dinner. To make matters worse, M recognizes the writing behind the photographs as her own. To distract herself from the situation, she turns toward Kevin and expresses her disappointment since he had brought up a story about his time with Lori during dinner. Although Kevin tries to assure her that he only cares for her, Em is not convinced. Before they can resolve their issues, they're interrupted again, but this time by Mike, who claims that he wants to see their hypothetical selves in the other house. Seeing that everyone is splitting up, with some of the friends deciding to stay back in the house, Em and Kevin offer to go along with Mike and Lori. The four of them head outside and look sound, until they come across their own clones, holding red glow sticks unlike their blue ones. Freaked out, they rush back to the house and tell their friends what they've seen. Beth suggests that this could be the Comet's doing, and they should find a book about comets to learn more about what's going on. She tells Hugh that his brother had left a book in his car that might be helpful. Kevin and Hugh retrieve the book while the rest of them wait anxiously. However, their friend Lee is missing, who Beth reveals is taking a nap. Sometime later, the two men return with the book to find that it contains lecture plans. Among them, Hugh's brother had talked about an experiment known as Schrodinger's cat. It was an experiment based on quantum physics. The experiment suggested that a cat trapped inside a box with a killer mechanism is both dead and alive until the box is opened. This means that everything has a 50-50 possibility of happening. Hugh explains that the comet has caused them to witness the two realities, which explains their clones. The more they find out, the more it starts to freak Amir out until he suggests that they should return the box. At this point, no one wants to go outside again. All of a sudden, everyone realizes that Lee sleeping for so long is odd. Beth ends up confessing that she had given her a few drops of ketamine to help her sleep. Em then asks Beth if she has added the drug to their food as well, which could explain why they might be hallucinating. Beth shows them the vial and promises that she has not done anything like that. Beth then picks up a plant and admires it. Em, who was watching her, realizes that the same thing had already happened earlier when she had stepped into the house. Out in the living room, Hugh and Amir bring out their red glow sticks, take the box along with all the clues, and leave the house. Not long after, the group notices that the box is missing, and Kevin volunteers to try and search for their friends. Em stops him from leaving while Lori watches their interactions closely. Lori tells the group that it might be possible that their friends were the clones. Later that night, Lori corners Kevin in the hallway and flirts with him. She tells him that Em hesitating to leave with him is a sign that she is not the best girl for him, and kisses him. Unbeknownst to them, Beth watches their interactions and tells Em about it. Suddenly, the lights go out again, and a sound of glass shattering is heard. While everyone checks Hugh's car, Em goes to her car and takes out a ring Kevin had gifted her. When Kevin joins her at the car, she asks him if they are okay, and he assures her that they are. The two of them hug each other until Em asks him if Hugh's car is okay. To her horror, Kevin asks her what she's talking about. This is when Em realizes that she is talking to the other Kevin and rushes back inside the house. Inside, she shows the real Kevin the ring, and he is less than enthusiastic about it. At that moment, Hugh and Amir enter the house and show the group both blue and red glow sticks, confirming that they are the real ones. Everyone realizes that there are multiple versions of them around, which is why Em suggests that they should all write numbers behind their pictures to mark which house they belong to. Since Amir has no picture, they take one for him. As Em is writing down the numbers, she notices that her pen's ink is green instead of the red that she saw earlier. She begins to realize that she might not be in the same house and manages to sneak out. She peeks into all the houses and stops at one where a happier version of her and Kevin seem to be enjoying their time together. She then comes up with a plan and quickly acts on it. She enters the house and uses Beth's vial of ketamine. She then breaks the car's window, and as everyone comes out to check, she notices her own version heads for her car to grab the ring. Em follows her and knocks her out before heading back into the house. Not long after, she notices the version of her that she had knocked out trying to make her way into the bathroom. Em follows her again and kills her before exchanging their rings. As soon as Em goes outside, she passes out and wakes up in the morning to see that the comet has passed and the other Em is missing. When she goes outside to see if anything has changed, Kevin follows her and gives her the other Em's ring. At the same time, Kevin's phone goes off and he notices that it's Em calling him. He answers the call and discovers that the Em with him is not his real girlfriend. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy the content. Like and share in the comments any movie that you would like us to recap.